Mhm. Are we on one, two? Oops. Well, seems like we're on, and I didn't realize we were on. Sup, Sasha? Hello, Dave, and anyone else who might be joining up right now. Sorry for not streaming last week. I had a bit of stuff to go through, or get through and get done, and so I couldn't. Just too much to do. Hello, Paul. Hello, Mike Lucas. You liking this music, Mike? Well, I am working, on two albums at the moment. My vocoder album has completely stopped dead in its tracks because of uncreative writing. So if I can't get the lyrics done, I need to do something because lately I've been extremely depressed, and I know where it comes from. It comes from me not being able to make any music because I've been increasing my production uh, quality. I don't know. I'm always afraid of calling my videos quality because I'm still just a dude sitting in a bedroom, and many of the times you can see the unmade bed in the background. I mean, it's not even made right now. It's just a complete mess. And the thing is that me not getting any outlet for my creative mind, the mind that made me start with music in the first place, which is, that's my was my main thing, and also the reason to why I know so much about how to make music and using synthesizers and everything. I haven't been tending to that part of myself. You know, I've been pouring everything, like everything that I am. I've been pouring that into video making, and that's a problem. It is a problem. I need to take time to make music, and I never feel like I have time because I'm not one of those people who can sit for an hour like many people do that watches my content. Many of you do not have time to fully immerse yourself into what you're doing. But that's my personality, My personality is a guy who immerses himself into everything. And that's why I have so many problems in life. I do that with friends, I do it with my partners. I say partners as if I have multiple. I have one partner, but I'm talking about previous partners, of course. And I always immerse myself fully into whatever I'm doing, focusing 100%, 110% into what I'm doing. Same thing with the videos. And so when I start making a video, I can't stop until it's done. And if I'm looking at a week and 2 days has gone and I've been doing research for 2 days, I know that recording the materials and everything is going to take me another 2 days. And then I realize, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to put out the video this week, so I have to crunch it. And so I do that. And what I really would like to do in that case is get out of the depression that starts ensuing right at that point. And that, the only way for me to do that is either play games or make music. And when I'm playing games, I'm getting nothing done, and so I'd rather make music. But then a half a day has gone by. And you're like, yeah, but then you have a half day, Jakob. Yeah, but it doesn't work because as soon as I start there, I'm just feeling the stress of what I should be doing is finishing the video, which is why I always end up focusing on the video. So I need to do a change in my life, and I need to find ways of just spending time with music. The music you heard if you saw the latest video I made, the cyberpunk type music I made there, I actually made 2 tracks, and I took 3 whole days just making the music. And these are not finished tracks. What I have are 2 tracks about 2.5 minutes, of what I would like the tracks to be, and I want the tracks to be 4 minutes long, and I want vocals in there. Because, like I said earlier, my vocoder album has stopped dead in its tracks. So I want to find a way of still doing vocoder stuff, leaving that on the shelf for a while, with the vocoder track, because the vocoder track is almost like the mellow album, but with vocoders instead. And the cyberpunk stuff is more beats, it's a bit more heavyweight bass kind of thing, which I love making. But if I can put some vocoder elements in there, it doesn't need to be the best lyrics, it just needs to be something that makes the music move along. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And so I am now taking at least a whole day every week to making music only and nothing else. Which means that what could happen from that is that it takes me another extra day before I get out videos. And so if a video normally takes 5 days to get out, it will take me 6 days. Because I refuse to pull back on what I've done with my videos so far. But I'm at a point where I feel that the quality of the videos they're kind of where I wanted them to be always. That's what I was working up to this point. So I'm not going to increase production value. I'm going to keep it and try to find ways of minimizing the amount of time I spend doing it. And in the end, if that means I have to get a better computer to do my video editing on, then I will do that. Because I don't make tutorials for making videos on iOS anymore. That video I made the week before last week on how I make my big videos is the last video I'm gonna make on making videos because of the low reception, the poor reception. Most people on my channel aren't interested in that. And I actually spent 7 days making that video, 7 full days, and not that many people were interested. I cannot justify putting that amount of time into that. So yeah, I am planning on getting a better computer for all my video editing, and I'm actually gonna take people's advice this time that, Jacob, you're doing so much work, and there's a lot of it you could just have automated and do quicker and have less problems with if you did it on a PC or a Mac. And you are all right, because 3 days ago, the God damn it, it's so painful to talk about. LumaFusion will not even start on my new iPad anymore. And I couldn't re-edit the video that I put up, the Cyberpunk video. The reason to why, there's one mistake in that. If you listen at the beginning, you can hear the background music doing some weird thing where it goes loud and then goes down in volume. It wasn't like that, but here we're talking about a project inside LumaFusion that would not export no matter what I did. I followed the instructions for bug testing over at LumaFusion's site, and nothing I did for a whole day, and I'm talking about, I think it was about 10 or 11 hours straight, I tried just exporting that stupid video. So what I had to do was I had to use an earlier export that I did where the audio was messed up at the beginning, and that's why you can hear that weird loudness of the background music fading out. And there are some other things in there that I wanted to remove and add, and I did that in the new edit, but it will not export, and now I can't even get LumaFusion to start. So I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of having to go through this. And ever since I switched over to the iPad 2018 model 11-inch iPad, I can't tell you. I have 30 or 40 crashes per day when using LumaFusion and other apps because of this stupid 48 kilohertz thing switch, and most developers haven't even caught up with that yet. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to have a platform for video editing where I can set my damned sample frequency and rate and be done with it. You know, have it locked to the actual card and be done with it. Because this is amazingly time wasting for me. Whew. Sorry. I needed to vent that. And I know that's not why you click onto here. You click onto here because we're supposed to have fun. Well, I haven't had any fun in over 2 weeks because of problems like this. No fun at all. And sure, work doesn't, necessarily mean that you should have fun all the time, but it's not even been close to comfortable. Okay? It's been uncomfortable and stressful, and the problems I've had with crashings have extended the days it takes for me to get something out, and it's awful. So, what I've ended up doing is I'm back on working on this thing here, the older iPad, because it doesn't do that. It's still on iOS 13, and it doesn't do that. iOS 14 LumaFusion, I don't know what the problem is, but it's horrible, and I just can't do it anymore. God. Hey Bella, if you're there, I think my mom says that my niece is over there. I don't know, is she watching right now? Love you guys, and I miss you, and I wish that we could travel, because both me and my partner, we it's not like we're going mad on each other. We've got a very evolved relationship, in my opinion, considering everything I've had before, and we don't try to get up in each other's faces, and we try to give each other space. Then again, we all work, both of us work so much, so we don't really spend too much time together, even though we're in the same apartment, and I think that helps. But it would be nice to be able to travel to our families, once in a while. And me, I haven't traveled in ages now. I haven't even set my foot on a subway. I go out and I go to the forest, and that's it. I only see people when I go shop, and that's it. Yeah, I know that. I know that probably a lot of you know how that feels by now. Everybody knows how that feels right now. Let me just scroll back here and see, because I saw that you were writing so much. It was just flying past me here, and I also want to say hello and welcome to Jakob Live. I am truly sorry for the rant. I didn't mean to bring everybody's spirits down. It's just that I've been dealing with a lot of BS lately, and I just, uh, you know, even though you spelled it wrong, Mom, I still understood that you meant like niece. So that's cool. COVID depression is a real thing, and don't discount it as a root cause. No, I know, but in my case, I like being alone. That's not it. I would like to meet my family and my niece, my lovely, lovely niece. I would love to meet you, because I don't travel a lot. I'm a really shitty son because I don't go home to my parents a lot. I'm a shitty friend because I don't meet people a lot. I like being alone most of the time, and people scare the living shits out of me. I don't like crowds, and I spend most of my time with machines, and that's just the way I am. I'm just like that. And even though I've tried to battle with it, you know, at the point in my life where I was actually able to manage to hang out with a lot of people, I became a drunk and a drug addict, because somehow that was the only way I could. It was the only way I could cope with it, which turned out to be a disaster for not me only, but everyone around me. So I had to stop that. And as a sober person, I can tell you, I like being alone, but it doesn't mean that I don't care for other people. It doesn't mean that I don't care about my family. It doesn't mean any of it. I just need a lot of space because I'm a brittle person, and it's taking me a long time to realize that, and it's taken me a long time to stop seeing it as a defeat, as me just being weak, and seeing that as a defeat. Someone told me that it's a strength, trying to face yourself and coping with it, and being open and honest about it. And yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm starting to see their point. I don't know. But that's just the way it is. So yeah, another thing is also admitting when you're wrong. And I've been wrong about the ways I've been making videos lately because it hasn't been working out for me. It's just been giving me problems. And like Mike is saying that, yeah, just go over to something else, And I should. I really should. I should start making videos with something else. Teddy Leopard. Hello, Teddy Leopard. That's a nice nickname you got by the way. Why did you choose that nickname, by the way? Hi, Dad. There's strength in being honest about weakness. Yeah, I think so. And you know what? I think like that whenever I see anyone else apply that to themselves, when they're admitting something, I see that as proper strength. It's nothing I respect more. Why do we have such a hard time taking that in when it's about ourselves? You know? It's weird. I guess I've been having a rough time, and maybe this whole depression thing that is happening around me is getting to me too. Because personally, I've always enjoyed being by myself. My mom and my dad can attest to that. Mom, Dad, you know how I like to be lonely. And I did everything I could not to go with the family to meetups when we were supposed to go and meet relatives and stuff. I did everything I could to get out of it. They know. They absolutely know the way I'm tweaked up here. These live streams are the most I don't know. It's the time when I actually get to hang out with people nowadays, you know? Yeah, I need to solve this situation. I am gonna get. I've decided. I'm deciding right now. I'm gonna get a better computer for video editing. Deal done. Uh, let's see how long that will take, and what kind of computer that will be. Because I'll tell you this: I love my iDevices. I love part of them. Okay, I do love what I can do with them. But when it comes to video editing now and filing systems, I am still missing PC so much. And since I'm not gonna do music, I feel confident enough to build my own system and save some money in the process. I have always failed when building a music computer because, blue screen of death was my life. I had more crashes with my older computers than I had with anything else. But building stuff with gaming for gaming, or with video cards, depending on what kind of editing software you choose, because most video editors don't work off the GPU. It depends on what you're using. Most of them work off the processor, and you need that to be really hot. Unless you're using, there's this one, is it DaVinci? I think it's DaVinci. If you're using DaVinci Resolve, you need a really good graphics processor, because I think it does everything off the graphics processor. But if you're dealing with Premiere, Adobe Premiere, or something like that, you can go with a really good processor and RAM. That's what you need. A good motherboard, with a really quick bus on there, then you're done. Hello, Timyan. Hello, Timyan. Timyan. I call you Timyan. Timyan, like we say Timyan in Swedish. That's like thyme in English. The shutdown is incredibly damaging to every economy, but they are psychologically most harmful for people who are outgoing. Yeah. Red Shawl does about 2 or 3 videos a week. Maybe ask him how he keeps up that pace. Dave, the the reason people are able to do videos quicker, in my opinion, often when I look at someone else's videos, is that it's usually you spend either less time per minute editing, or you have someone else editing. There's no way to get around it unless you have more people working on it. It's not going to go faster. So if I want to keep my level of editing with if you watch the latest video I did, my work is extremely structured. It's extremely structured, and I've streamlined every process to get it to be efficient, and I'm unable to save in time in these places now. So if I wanted to go faster, I either have to employ someone, which I cannot afford, or I have to pull down on what I'm doing, which means that my content is going to get worse, which feels really shitty, because a lot of people are telling me they're subscribing to my channel for the quality of the content, and that's what I want to do. That's where I wanted to go. And I've been honest before, what I really want to do is documentaries. If I could switch out what I'm doing and choose and do documentaries instead about music making, I would do that. But that's gonna be horrible trying to start over from again. So I keep on doing what I'm doing and trying to mix the two to a point. So people always give me advices on how to make things go faster so that I can put out more. And whenever they do that, it's always do less of this, do less of that. And I don't like hearing those words, because quality for me is extremely important. It's really important. I know, I'm being a pain in the butt, but it's very important. And if I pull down on that, I might as well just stop, just quit, because I'm not gonna do that. I care about the quality. I care about my audience, and I want to give my audience something special. I want to give them something else. You know, there's a lot of channels out there doing all kinds of stuff. And if you look among, like, if you look at the vlogging community, how many channels do you look at gaming vlogging communities, for instance? You can search for a topic, for instance, and let's say cyberpunk news, and you'll get 100 people, and they all start the same way, saying, "What's up, guys?" It's the first thing they say. "What's up, guys?" They sound the same. They all think they have to speak the same in a weird manner, which is, I don't know where the hell it came from, but it sounds weird. And they drag it on for ages, and they're doing this obnoxious subscribe to me. And why should I do that? You haven't even given me anything yet. And they're really popular. I don't care about being the most popular. I care about my audience, and I care about the content. I want to make the content for people who don't want to watch stuff like that. People that turn on the video and see that there's something special with it right from the start. If I can't do that, then what's the point? You see, I'm no halfway guy. If I have to do halfway, oh my God, this is the same problem that makes me into a drug addict and alcoholic. You see what I mean? It's the same thing. I can't do things halfway. It's either you do it or you do not. And that's why my tutorials are thorough. I either do it properly or I don't do it at all. I hope you don't think that I'm yelling at you because I just realized it sounds like that, but yeah, I have such a hard time just pulling down on stuff. So what I did was, I pulled down on the amount of videos in order to make quality. I just can't not care anymore. I just can't. I care. I just can't help it. Go live, we all learn together. I record my videos in the same way I record my music. Live, one takes with a little editing as possible. Even scripted videos. Yeah, I can't do it like that, Mike. I can't. And you know, all content is needed on YouTube. All content. Because some people want certain types of content. For me, personally, I would never watch one of my own live streams. I would not. That is not what I'm looking for ever. What I'm looking for is heavily scripted, heavily thought out videos. I look for a lot of documentaries, and whenever I check gameplay, it's all edited gameplay, really edited gameplay. That's why I, for instance, watch videos like Wellin. There's a Rust player called Wellin. He doesn't only play Rust, he plays Sea of Thieves and everything else. And what I like about him is that he is such a good storyteller. This young kid has already found what's like the gold of storytelling. He knows exactly how to do it with the voice without sounding cringy, to set it up, to bring you along, to make it interesting, and to give you this big payout. And it doesn't matter whether he loses in the end or wins in the end. It's always super interesting. And if the video is half an hour long and I turn it on, it's 3 o'clock in the night. I've been sitting and editing all night. I turn one of these on, I'm hooked instantly, and I can't stop watching. That's the type of content I want to make. Something with a clear story, with depth in it, where someone has taken the time to really dig into why something sounds like something does, where something comes from, documentary-wise. That's the kind of videos I'm interested in. So that's just the way I am, and I can't help that. I like that. What do you watch, for instance? What do you like watching mostly, Mike? Long form for hanging out and all sorts of extra info popping into the streams via audience participation, but tutorials are great for learning. All you need to get going in under 29 minutes. Yeah, I like those too. Mr. Fung says, I'm about a mix. Whatever is feasible, but some of both is possible. There's a balance to be sure. Get the revenue from the popular videos so you can do what you really want. Yeah, and you're saying something. Hello, Jack. Hello, Jack. Teddy, you're right. There's a balance, and that's why I make top 10 videos, top 5 videos. I don't make those videos because I like making them. But if you watch my top 10 videos, you will see that I've go to an extra length to make sure that I am being able to present what it really is about an app that I like. I'll go into the story of an app. I'll even talk to a developer. I'll bring in an interview clip. I'll do something extra. Because I'm tired of watching top 10 lists where people just list stuff without playing anything. It's a 5-minute video and you're talking about 12 apps, really? Or 12 games in a 5-minute video. I would never watch a video like that. I stopped watching videos like that, I don't know, 8 or 7 years ago, I think. I want something more. I want them to go in depth. I'd rather watch a top 2 list 20 minutes long than I'll watch a top 10 list 5 minutes long. Because of what I'm going to get out of it. Because I'm going to hear more. I really, really love it when people do research, you know? I love that stuff. Absolutely love that stuff. There's this channel called John Swan. He doesn't do music or stuff like that. He investigates YouTubers and other things. And I don't really care too much about the topics he's talking about. I don't. I just ended up watching his videos because he's gone to such a length to do these in-depth things, you know? And I'm fascinated by it. And I'm trying to get better at it too. I'm not saying yours should be shorter, just that you're giving my feed something very different from what I make myself. Yeah, I get it. You do a massive amount of graphics and you can have quality without all the graphics. Those are time consuming. I just want to learn about apps. It's here. I just want to learn about apps. God, I gotta read it again. You can do a massive amount of graphics and you can have quality without all the graphics. That's where I disagree. Like, what would the quality be then? If I would just sit in front of a camera, then it's just a vlog. There's nothing special about it. I just can't put out a video like that. You see, I don't have a problem watching someone else do that for a segment. But I can't do that because I don't want to be like that. I want to do something else. And so I do the graphic instead. And once I've made a graphic, I figure out how to make a preset out of it so I can reuse it. Like the app feature screen. I don't have to do that. I can just say it and write it out on the screen. It just looks boring. I made it special. And it took me a month to get the formula right. And then I had to rework it. And now I have it as a template where I just simply need to either put in, the little green check mark or the red X. That's all I need to do. The only problem with those is that sometimes when I've done it, I've ended up mistakenly doing a cross where it should be, a green check mark. But nowadays, I'm very, very thorough with checking that through. And it's so easy for me. I just simply bring it in as a layer. And I stopped animating it so it fills in, like tick, 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 tick. I stopped doing that because I realized I don't even need to do that. That's just too much work for a little thing. So it's not like I don't try to pull back on it. But yeah, I mean, the last video I made, the Cyberpunk video, I gotta admit to you, Dave, and everyone else, I spent a shitload of time making the iPad graphics. Because I literally have to render out all of the graphics as their own thing with a transparent background, which I was able to do on the new iPad and LumaFusion. And in the end, it turned out to be very heavy for the iPad to run, which is partly why why it crashed and why I had to redo some things. But it's such a simple thing. No one else does it like that. And so I thought it would be cool for me to do it. Will I do it again? Most likely not. But if I do, I will use a much lower resolution and I will do less zoom-ins, which will take some time away. Oh, God. I just want everyone to understand that the tips you're giving me and the reasons you're telling me why stuff are taking so long for me, you're not wrong. But I never do anything without thinking about it. Never. And it's not like I just choose one day to do something. No, it's me thinking about something for months and then actually implementing it. That's how I do everything. So when I do something, it's not just, it just didn't came from nowhere. I choose to do it because I've thought about it for a long time and I really want it in there. And that's part of why stuff takes long time. But for me, it's always worth it in the end. And for anyone new that signs up on my channel, I get praises for that stuff. Which I want that. I want people to like that, you know? So yeah, it takes longer time. And I really do not want to focus on just shitting out videos as quickly as I can. Because I've done that in the past. And it burned me out. That's what people don't know. It burned me out. Just too many videos. Too little time to really get into stuff. The longer I took really doing videos, the more I cared about each and every one of the videos. And the more I could care about the apps I was working with. And the more I got to know the apps. And that's also a nice thing. I'm sure you know what I mean. Like, we buy a lot of apps, and how many times do we realize that we have like 10 apps that we just bought just lying there on one page, the page we have for new apps, which just turns into a new page, and then we scroll by that one, and then we have a new page with app we just buy, and we haven't used them. That's still gonna happen, but it happens with less apps when I get more time to actually spend some time with them. I like that. It's a nice thing. And I can tell you this, if it weren't for the YouTube algorithm and how it works and how it's being tweaked every year to just promote stuff that is quick and easy to put out, I wouldn't be complaining, I wouldn't be caring. I would just keep on going as I'm going, quite frankly, and just keep doing it like that. I wouldn't. That's probably why I'm complaining, because that is the thing stressing me out the most. Not my audience, it's the YouTube algorithm and how it treats stuff. Because I've seen stuff after testing some uploads where it's not the audience itself, it's the algorithm. And it doesn't take much to kind of have it adjust what happens and how it's promoting stuff, adjusting your, what it's called, the p-value or whatever it's called, to adjust that, and then suddenly in 1 month you see less of your videos being promoted for one reason or another. It's weird. What's up, Matt? My favorite is when you spin around. Alright, Andy, you see, I did this paper Jacob not spinning around because someone told me that they were annoyed by it, so I just didn't do it. And then I saw people asking me to do it. That's why I reintroduced the spinning around Jacob, so it stays. You can't change the person you are. You're going to have to live with it. It's your way to make good content. Russ, I think that's where the shoe, the där skon klämmer, it's what we say in Swedish. It's where the shoe doesn't fit, or where the shoe kind of pinches your foot. It loses something in translation, but that's the problem with me. Like, you all have really good points and tips, you know, and if I would implement them, I could I could definitely get content out faster. But the problem is me being me, and I want to be me. I spent most of my life trying to be someone else to fit into society, and it made me miserable. And I'm not gonna let that dictate the rest of my life, how society wants me to be. And so I just decided to be myself. And since being myself is doing stuff my way, if I stop doing that, I know I'm gonna become miserable. So it's not that I don't think that you're giving me good advice, because you are. You are. I mean, I can't get around that. It's good advice. You know how to get this stuff out quicker. You're right. I know that. I choose not to, because I just want to be me. I mean, it's part of why you subscribe to my channel either way, right? I know that my content has changed a bit since the beginning, but I see a lot of you who are still here, even though the content has changed. And I think that's amazing. very, very dedicated core audience, and I'm really happy about that. And I know that a lot of you who have been there from the beginning, you're now subscribed here. And to anyone new, welcome to the ride, to the weird thing that is Jakob haQ, and this whatever we're doing here, whatever we're building up. I mean, I still don't know where to take this live streaming channel, and if I really do have a goal for it. I don't think I do. The goal was never really to do anything really for me. It was just, well, partly for me because I want to hang out with you. I want to have fun. But the goal was never really to get this into a state where it can make shitloads of money or anything like that. It's just a lot of people, a lot of patrons and a lot of other people, core audience people, just said, I wish you could do more videos and I wish you could live stream. And so here it is. This is what it is. This is what it means to have more videos or more live streams. That's all I can do. Yeah. I don't know if it's enough, but it's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be. I can only do so much. And since I spend most of my time just, on videos in general, yeah, saving in time in places where I can to do this, basically. Someone mentioned making videos that pulls in views. Wait, before that, Captain. Hello, Captain, my Captain. Jacob, you do a nice job on your videos. I can tell you that I can tell you that on my videos, the ones that have done the best keeping attention and getting interest have been the ones that took the longest to make. Yeah, and for the most of the time on my channel, it's halfway there. But I can tell you this, when I look at when people choose to subscribe with my channel, it's usually three things. Number one, they watched one of my top list. Number two, they watched one of my, what is it called? AUM or Core Gadget videos. Number three, they found my documentary thing and it looks as if they continue watching through the playlist of my docutorial thing. So those things are making people subscribe to this channel. And so I'm never going to stop making top lists, for sure. And I'm probably going to have to do more AUM tutorials, which is, I can do that. And I'm going to have to make these occasional documentaries. But in order to make the documentaries, I have to make it worth the time to spend the time doing that. And that's why I'm doing the other videos. So, yeah, you know how it is, if you want to be able to pay rent and maybe go to nobody's going to the movies nowadays, but if you want to do stuff in your life, you got to get a job and you got to do this and that. And so even in a creative work, there's always these things you have to do in order to be able to do something else. And that's just the way it is. And I'm not complaining about that. That's just life. I know that. I'm a grown up. Finally, I realized that. I missed the bass. I missed the bass. Dave, elaborate. What do you miss about bass? I've made bass, but do you mean I used to be more focused on that? Give us Jacob bobbleheads. I would love to make a baby. I would like to make a baby bobble baby. A Jakob haQ bobblehead. I've seen gamers do these. I don't know what they're called, but they're like these little figurines. I would love one of those. With a jiggly head, because I love jiggly heads. The Heinbach video was fantastic. Waiting for when I can splurge on the apps you used in it. Yeah, Andy, and anyone else who might be interested, is anyone interested in seeing how I made some of the music for that episode? Because obviously some of my core audience was interested in seeing how the video was made and how I spent time making my videos, but most people weren't interested. So are there any interest? I just want to know if there's any interest in seeing what I did to actually make lab experiment equipment app music. It's weird, I know, but the background track that I used for Heinbach's, you know, uh, segments, I did the same thing that I started doing in the Borderlands docutorial with Chris, and in the one with the sampler docutorial, uh, and in the Heinbach docutorial, and also in the uh, which one was it that I did before that? It's 4 docutorials that I did. Which one was that? I can't. Oh, with Flip and Andrew Huang. I made background music with the apps for their segments, for their interview segments, because I thought that that would be a cool thing to do. You know, make music with their stuff and use that as background music. I just found that really, really nice, and I really liked the one I did for Heinbach. It turned out really great, and I wanted to release it, but I don't know if there's any interest. The live streams with you are also good. That is what got me here. Really, Captain? Wait, Captain, did you find me through the live streams first or the main channel? I'm super interested in if anyone else have a similar thing. Did you find me from the main channel and then get over to the live stream, or was it the other way around? I'm learning how to make music, so I'm devouring these videos that talk about how. Ah, okay, yeah. Okay, I get it, Andy. Fernando, Chinese people are still going to the movies. I wouldn't know, actually. The fish. Oh, yeah, Dave. I don't know why I quit doing that, actually. Why did I stop with the fish? Maybe there will be a comeback, Dave. I'm sorry. I'll keep it in mind. I'll keep it in mind. Bass, not bass, of course. Yeah, we came for the AUM Tuts state for the great quality content across the board. Jacob, delivering your audience what we didn't know we wanted. Oh, thank you, Timian. You know, thank you all for all your tips that I'm rejecting. That doesn't mean I don't find them valuable. I hope you understand it by now. I find it valuable. Even if you give me tips and I don't listen to them, or if I reject them, I find it very valuable. And I respect that you want to help me out. I always respect that when people are trying to help me out. And I want to thank you for all the praise and credit you're giving me, because believe it or not, I really need it sometimes, because you sit alone, you do something, you put it out, and once it's out, you talk with your audience for a few hours, you know, answering comments, and then it's over. You have to start thinking on the next thing. That's what it feels. It's over. It feels so dramatic. I'm making it. What is this episode? While you're thinking out there, whatever you're writing, give me a good title for this video. For those of you who have watched so far, you know, up to this point, give me a title for this video, and the best title, I'll put that as a title. All right? No profanities. Just give me something good. I like that what you stand for. I appreciate your struggle, and I like that you are a developer and a musician like myself. Yes, but Captain, I have to correct one thing. I could never consider myself a developer because I cannot write code from scratch. There's one thing for me now to see a code and understand somewhat what's going on, but I cannot take any cred for what people like yourself and Kai and anyone else is doing. What you're doing is it's not magic for me now, but it still feels like magic, because I wouldn't be able to. Anyone told me optimize this thing, I wouldn't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't. The most basic thing that I still feel that I can somewhat understand is basic. Okay, machine code. That's it, but I still wouldn't be able to utilize this in a good way. So I don't see myself as a developer, and I don't want to take credit for that because I haven't earned it. You guys have earned that. You've done that with your work. I haven't. That's why I want to correct that. So yeah, I'm not taking any credit for that. I came over for a live stream when you were talking about developing your latest music app. Oh. Yeah, and in that case, uh, Kai, he did that code. That's his code. Without his code, it wouldn't exist. You know, it was close work with me and Kai for over a year, and the idea was talked about 2 years, and I worked so close with him. And the last 9 months, well, it was every day, and it was around the clock real work. As soon as he did something new, I had to try to break the app. I've never ever in my life done so extensive bug testing as I did, and it turned out to be a really good thing, because Kai told me that it was the absolute least buggiest app he's ever put out, not even close to some of the bugs he's had in the past. I did a good job, and I got to understand developers better. I got a completely new respect for developers. That's why I don't want to take credit for stuff like that. Yes, I found your main channel, and I subscribe to both channels. I love this lifetime. Just talk with you in community. I love that too, Jack. Hello, healing heart. Hello, healing. Is that weird calling you healing? I'll bet Jakob could solder up a nice MIDI controller. Yeah, I did, and I'm good at soldering. I'm really good at soldering now because I've learned how to properly do it. The problem is I don't have the patience to finish stuff. Uncle Tom, don't you? Maybe you've missed that. Maybe you've missed it. Can I find my old? Let's see here. Can I find my old? Sorry for making you sick. If I'm making you sick, I'll see if I can find. See that? I've shown this before, and there's an entire video about this controller that I built. That was a lot of soldering I had to do. It works, but it's not finished because I didn't have the patience. So the buttons don't do anything, lights don't do anything. So we have what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of 8 buttons that don't do anything. The knobs do something, and the faders all do something. And then there's a master fader here, a master thing there. So yeah, I mean, I built this, and it's standing in the corner over here, and it's like this big, heavy metal and aluminum. It's a MIDI controller. That's what it is. And I used to use it live to dub out my sessions when I was doing reggae music and dub music mostly. I think I've talked about this before. Hello, healing. Struggle with addiction. I understand the struggle. My father was an addict, and I fought hard to stay clean. I've been there for many streams since. Aw. Strength to you and fortune. I wish you a good, long, sober life. Because that's what I want, truly, to be honest. I wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for my sobriety. I started the hack attack concept the day I decided to stay sober. And since then, my focus have been 100% on this. Trying to get tutorials out, reviews out, trying to be helpful, you know, talking to the community, giving something back, and trying to pay back for me being an asshole most of my life. That's what it is. That's clean and simple. Fix it up. The MIDI controller brains are becoming hard to find. You're talking about the UCAP's MIDI thing? I think that's still active, isn't it? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Here's the thing, though. I want to do something with this controller and rebuild it. And what I want to do is I want to switch out all of the what do you call it? The faders to faders that are better and more expensive. Put more space in between. You can see here, okay? If we look at, come on. If we look at these faders, these are too close. The knobs and buttons, everything are too close. If I could remove a fader and put, instead of 8, put 4, 4, and 4, of good heavy duty faders. And then same here, 4 knobs, 8 knobs here, 4 knobs here, and switch that out, then I would. And I want to do that with a new platform. I don't want to do it with MIDI box. I want to do it with something else that is easier for me to program. Because when I went back and tried to reprogram this, I couldn't. And the forum is, they used to be really helpful. But nowadays, when I ask them, because I can't see what's wrong with the code, they just say, you're not looking in the right place. And I've been looking at this code now for 2 years, and I can't find it. And they do not want to help me because they think that I should just be able to find it myself. Well, the problem is that when you get blind by your own things, which happens a lot, you need help. And that's what they don't understand. Someone just doing, hey, have you looked around this area, would help me out. But I'm unable to see it. So I want to use a different brain because I still find that platform a little bit hard to use. And I've been looking at doing it with Arduinos or something else because I understand that a little bit better. Plus, there are already good softwares out there where you just upload it, and the only thing you really have to do is to tell all the controls what CCs there are, and that's all I want. I don't want to have to do the most sickest coding. Just upload something new to the kernel, and then just have it take my orders. Who's the Papa Smurf? I would never sell this, Mom. I would never sell this. No, 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 no. But plus, I wouldn't sell something that is broken. But I spent a year, with this, and it costed me so much money. The most costly thing on this thing, these knobs, costed me like hell because these are not plastic. They're aluminum straight through and through with a little screw in there. So it's old school. You can't buy these anymore. I don't know if they make them, but nowadays they make plastic knobs with some kind of a either metal painted surface or a thin metal coating. These are metal straight through. Like, this is aluminum, depending on if you're in Europe or in the US. But that's what it is. AU, pure, straight AU? Is that it? Wait. No, it's not AU. Oh, crap. I don't know the periodic system. What is it? I gotta check it out. Is it AU? I was gonna suggest Arduino. Yeah, I think Arduino. Jamie is Papa Smurf. He's a sausage and Papa Smurf at the same time. Brain farts. Jakob haQ is Jakob haQ. Alright, so either way, lately I have been working on cyberpunk music, and I've also had, since I've gotten in this kind of depressed state with the videos not working out because of me not being able to use LumaFusion anymore, well, I got into Block because I'm supposed to deliver sound packs. And I have actually completely turned down one of the jobs now. I need the money, but I can't deliver on time, and they don't want to postpone, so I said, okay, then no deal. I had to say no to the job because I won't be able to deliver, because everything I've been making has been bland. So this cyberpunk music has been a way of me getting out of that. And has it helped? Yes, it's helped immensely. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm starting to feel good about me making new sounds and making music also. And so I'm probably gonna have this cyberpunk-esque album ready by I'm not gonna say a time, but it would be a nice thing if people could be able to get this around the winter holidays this year, and hopefully before that. But I think this would be a release that would be nice to release when it's getting darker outside because of the tone of the music and everything. And I've already got to two tracks that are 2.5 minutes long. That they're all going to become about 4 minutes long, and the third one I started it up earlier today because whenever I'm going to do live streams, I can't do regular work because I'm still trying to figure out what the live stream is going to be about. And so I spend time making music, or cleaning up on the iPad, deleting files, just doing the regular office work, fixing papers, mailing in the stuff, paying bills. You know what I mean? That's what I do on streaming days. I just try to fix stuff. And so today I made some music. So now I have 3 tracks, and I've got 2 more brewing in my head already that I'm gonna hammer out. And the interesting thing is that probably all of the sounds are gonna come from Figure. That's the most amazing thing about this. I don't know if it's amazing, but I am using Figure for it. Quicker now for me, because now I'm not just spending time making sounds. I don't want to do that because I don't want to tire out my brain, so that I can pour all the sound creation into the packs I'm gonna give to these companies instead. I need to do that. I want to deliver the good stuff. Please recommend a USB-C adapter to have USB ports on iPad Pro, because I want to buy one. Okay, baseline, aka Klangattentat. So here's the deal. I have 2 USB-C ports. I have, two. I have 2. And both of them are giving me issues, and I can't tell if it's them or if it's the sound cards. The biggest problem with iOS is that it now works on 48 kilohertz, and whenever you're using apps that are set to something else and it needs to be reset, which happens at startup, you get crashes. LumaFusion has been awful when it comes to that. It's crashing like nothing else. I get crashes with Cubases, I get crashes with everything except from AUM and some synths. Older synths, IAA synths, I get crashes. And the biggest problem is when you unhook and hook stuff. Otherwise, I can tell you this, with the 2 USB-C hubs that I have the same problems, and so it might not even be the hubs. It doesn't matter. I don't have an Apple one. I have some third-party ones, and when they work, they work. And whenever something isn't working, it's usually tied to this 48 hertz thing. So I can't give you a good advice on what to buy. But to me, it seems like you can buy something fairly inexpensive and get around that. It's no longer the same thing, as back when Apple did the Lightning thing. And you had to have an MFI certified thing made for iOS, or made for iPhone or iPad or whatever it meant. But they used to have that certification so that people had to pay for the license for the connector and the protocol and the chipping and things like that, so that iOS knew that something legit was being connected to the Lightning port. It's not like that anymore. You can basically take anything USB-C and connect it there. I even tried it with one of my hard drives now, and it just worked. I have never been able to connect this thing to my Apple iPad, to this thing here, to the 12.9 inch from 2014, because it has a Lightning port, and it didn't matter if I powered it, or if I powered a USB-C connection, or used the Lightning to USB 3, nothing would work. And people told me it's the wrong FAT format. No, it wasn't. It was right. Oh, you have to reformat it. I've done so many things with this, it never worked. And then I took this port. Let's see here where I have it. I took this that I bought. It's a Swedish brand, but it looks like millions of things that you can find on Amazon. They go for about between $30 to $40 dollars. $40 is it? No, not 40. Okay, so you can find them between 250 to between two. Help me out before I choke on myself. You can find these for between 250 and between $25 to $40 on Amazon. loads of these. And that's kind of what I got. I connected this to this and then to the iPad, and the thing just worked. It just span up and I had access to all of the files. Never happened to me before. I was so happy. But all of the other issues I'm having had to do with sound cards and sample rates, which is a huge problem for someone like me, for someone like you, and anyone else watching this right now who does music on iOS. Having problems with constantly crashing stuff, and I don't know if it's the USB-C, but it's definitely a problem because I also have a USB-C port, USB-C connector where I have a headphone port on it, and that thing will make some apps crash sometimes. It doesn't matter if you connect it afterwards or have it connected while you're starting the app. Sometimes you have to jiggle it around and you end up restarting the iPad. And when I do research online, I see people using the same connector and having no issues or having a lot of issues. And it all depends on how often you switch apps. This has been the most common thing when people go from one app to another. And that's why I keep saying I think it has to do with this 48 hertz thing. So in your case, I am sorry. Go out and get one of these. Don't buy the absolute cheapest one, but get something for $25 or $30, and it will probably work. And if you're having crashes, it is probably not because of this, but because of something else. And I wish I could figure it out. It was easy to figure it out with these. Very easy to figure out what it was, because it was always power. And you still have to consider power with these, because if you're using an adapter, you see these have the USB-C connector for powering, all right? It's called power through. And when you're buying one of these, make sure that you buy one that says it has a USB-C with power through, because that means that you can connect your Apple charger here and you can power your device at the same time. Okay? That's important. But if you choose to have one that is at a lower wattage for a smaller device, and you start connecting loads of sound cards or MIDI controllers with lights on them, you're still gonna have that problem of losing power when you press all your pads and they all light up and the power consumption goes through the roof and it will shut down everything. I know because I've tested. So make sure you get one with power through, and make sure you're using a powerful enough adapter to power your session. Otherwise, you're gonna have to use a powered hub between this and your connected devices. It's a mess. It was easier with this. It's easier to buy stuff that will work, but it's harder to find out what the problem actually is. And I talked about that with Ben Jordan on his live stream a little while back. It's hard to figure out what the actual problem is, but most of these seems to just work. If you search YouTube for USB-C port or USB-C hub and iPad, you'll find loads of videos, thousands of videos, maybe tens of thousands of videos with people showing you different ones that actually just work. And yes, they will, until you start switching between apps. That's when problems occur. And I don't think that that's the hub's fault. I think it's iOS. I went on a real long tangent there. I even lost some viewers during that whole rant. I'm sorry. There was a set of rules for USB-C that got trashed when USB-C came out. I didn't know that. I suggest against extra features in the hub if you need it for music. Yeah, if you need it for music, make sure it doesn't have a headphone port if you're gonna use it with a sound card, because I've seen that created some problems for people. Because when you connect that, it will connect to that thing, but it turns out that when some people have, in some cases, when people have a headphone, an Apple headphone connected to that port, and then they try to connect a sound card afterwards to the USB, it should automatically switch over, but in many cases it didn't, and it crashed the system instead. So think about that. And that's why you have to buy multiple connectors now. So if you want to walk around with this thing, with the iPad, nothing has changed, everyone. Getting a new iPad changed nothing when it came to that. It's still the stupid dongle hell as it always has been. You don't have to buy the Apple one, and in a lot of cases on YouTube, I saw videos where people showed more errors happening when they used the Apple one than when they used something else by some other brand. I haven't tested it out myself, but you'll have to watch their videos, and it's their word, because I can't say that that's the way it is. Because I haven't tested it out. I'm still on an iPad Pro 10.5 inch. Yeah, and that one was released back in 2017. It has a what is it? I don't know about the core exactly. I don't remember the speed in the core, but it still has 4 gigabytes of RAM like the regular Pros does. Except from the one from 2020, you can get models with 6 gigabytes of RAM. But the 2017 model 10.5 iPad, it has a pretty good processor, but it is very different in speed from a 2018 Pro 11 inch, for instance, because this one uses an octa-core. It was like day and night when I tested between this thing and the iPad 11 I have. But that one is older. It's from 2014. It was top of the line back in the day, but it was like night and day with the speed. And when I check Geekbench, I think it is, they're benchmarking the devices. The iPad Pro 11 it's really, really good still. Yesterday I found another good deal for an iPad 11 at the same price over at Tradera. And I sent that tip to a friend of mine who wants a new iPad, and same as me, he can't afford a new one. So he saw my episode, or the live stream where I was talking about getting the new iPad 11 Pro from 2018 and getting that for $500. I sent it over to him and he purchased it. So he now owns one too, which is awesome. If you're on Lightning, you basically must use Apple hardware. Yeah, in most cases, I would say yes. And there are people out there who can tell you that they've been using the same third-party adapter for ages, and it's not even MFI certified. And yeah, that will work for some time, and then all it takes is one update for iOS, and suddenly it doesn't work anymore. And that's the problem with that. That is the huge problem with that. And it's even happened to you've seen, if you go to the Apple Store. Let's see here. Apple Store. Apple Store. If we go to Apple Store and we go to, for instance, we go to iPhone and we look at stuff you need. And we look at what should we look at? Well, if we can look at, for instance, connectors and cables and stuff, let's see here, then we'll find stuff from, where is it? Where are you? Belkin, for instance. Belkin, usually they make MFI certified stuff, but it turns out that some of their stuff stopped working after iOS updates for some reason, where they really shouldn't, because that's the thing. But when you use Apple stuff, I've tried it out myself. After a new iOS update, I plug in my USB 3 to Lightning connector, and then suddenly iOS tells me, hey, you need to update this adapter. And it just does that, which is awesome, and then it works again. And that's the thing you get when you pay for that high price. And you know what? I'm not going to praise Apple for it, because they made it like that on purpose, of course. They made it not worth buying third-party stuff from others because they want you to go through their system. They're not stupid. It's money they can make. And, as long as it works, I'm fine paying that higher price for an adapter. As long as it works. As long as they keep it safe. As long as they give me the updates and make sure that it works. I'm good with that. With something third party, you don't get that. And with USB-C, who knows what will happen when we go from iOS 14 to iOS 15? See, I can't answer that until that happens. Nice to have you, Russ, and see you next time. Yeah, keep a separate hub for that extras and one for the studio. Sorry, did anyone come up with a good title for this video? Cause I missed that. I'm so stupid. I'm gonna keep my eyes glued on here. If you have a good title for what I should call this title for this video, then tell me what you think. Cause I don't even know. Hey, Santano, I watched one of your cooking videos, Santano. I don't know if you wanted me to tell that. Maybe you didn't. It's cool though, because I don't have millions of subscribers, so you don't have to worry about that. But I watched one of your cooking videos. Very, very, very felt homey, like sitting and watching a homie cook. Very nice. Optimize, make it run faster and use less resources. Samuel, that's probably not a title you suggested. I'm always tempted to use that. Wednesday rants. Okay, that's one. I'll still say Agonizer needs the LED graphic to glow and pulse. Yeah, Lori, I asked Kai for that, but he told me that the way he makes his app makes that not so easy to do. And if I do, he asked me, how much of the CPU do you want to sacrifice? And when he said that, I'm like, I don't want to sacrifice anything. And he's like, but you can't get both, dude. We'll see, because I still want something extra there. No brain farts. Brain farts is the title. Talking Jakob episode 73.1. Deconstruction. Bye, Russ. Okay, that's probably not a title suggestion. That's probably just someone saying bye to Russ. I live in Shenzhen, and over there you can find any second-hand iPad model dirt cheap. Fernando Mashlab. Fernando, maybe you could turn that into a business. But yeah, I know it's probably a problem, you know, shipping stuff across country and stuff. But if you can figure it out, maybe you can do a big thing. And I'm sure Apple would want to shut that down. Oh, God. You know, I watched these documentaries by two dudes who I can't remember their names now. But I watched two dudes make documentaries about Apple products in China and the second-hand market and the parts market and people refurbishing stuff and how Apple have tried to get them to shut it down because they're calling it I don't know what, but they're saying basically something along those lines of allegedly saying that they're not copying but, you know, reselling. They're trying to get it under the law so that people can't do that. And so repair shops have been threatened, you know, by lawsuits and stuff, when there really shouldn't be like that. Because aftermarket repairs, I think, should be valued by every customer out there. Because a lot of us don't have money to buy new stuff, and sometimes we find something we like and we want to be able to repair it, and that's important. So aftermarket repairs, I think, is very important. Why not iPad Air 2020? It's cheaper than iPad Pro 2018. No, it's not. Used. It's not. And in Sweden, Jack, if you buy an iPad Air 2018 11-inch, you pay, for a new one, you pay $1,000. 10,000 kronor. And if you want to buy a 2020 iPad model, 11-inch, it costs $1,000. Same price. You know what the difference is? The new 2020 model is 128 gigabytes, and the older one is a 256. So you get double the amount of storage. That's the big difference. So even though you might want like the new LiDAR camera and everything, you know, if you care about that, then you go for the new model. But if you don't care about that, if you care about music making, the LiDAR camera is not going to help you. So that goes away. 6 gigabytes of RAM compared to 4 gigabytes of RAM. No app is using it yet still, even though some developers are telling me that Apple are putting out papers trying to inform people about, you know, the future of RAM and how they can use it. Still, I think that it's going to be 1 or 2 years before we see apps, music apps, actually take advantage of the RAM. So that's not going to help you. So why would you pay for that then when you can get an older one, you know, with larger space? And if you don't have to buy it new and get it at a steal price, used, almost as new, like mine was. It was 6 months old, still had, what do you call it, guarantee. It was still, you know, it had all the receipts, only 6 months old, like new. I got it for $500. You see what I mean? I saved $500, and $300 I needed to spend on buying at least one adapter right away. Not $300, $100 to buy, what was it? No, what was it? 25. That one, this one was 35 or 40, I think, and the other one was 35. So yeah, and of course, if you, yeah, okay, so if you think about all the extra stuff you have to buy, like the hubs and stuff, you want to have money for that too, right? So in the end, I'd say around $600 with shipping and everything. That's what I got it for. It was very worth it for me because suddenly I have double the amount of storage space, and I've got an iPad that is just as fast with almost the exact same processor as the 2020 model. You see what I mean? Swedes must love fancy iPads. Yeah, and you know, getting a second-hand one in Sweden cheap is not that easy. You have to stalk the auction sites. Because in Sweden, stuff don't lose value that quickly when it comes to iPads and iPhones. They're still pretty high in value, even a whole year afterwards. But once in a while, a person comes out with this one ad where they just want to get money quickly for something. And those are the ads I'm always looking for. And it might take me months, and it did. And that's how I'm doing the deals. Because I cannot buy new stuff. Because it's very expensive. I just got a new iPad Pro 11, and I wish I followed hack advice and bought an older 12-inch one for more screen real estate. Okay, so stop right there, Lori, because when you got the 11-inch one, if you would have gotten back and gotten the 12-inch one, that value is still a bit higher, so it's harder to get a good deal there. But Lori, if you spend a lot of time just stalking auction sites, making sure that you're getting notified, like I did on the auction site we use here in Sweden called Tradera. Whenever someone put up a new ad and it said iPad Pro in it, I got a notification, so I checked all of them. It's the first time in 4 years, that I've turned on notifications on my phone for anything. I've turned notifications off for everything because I have too many social network sites and Discord and Patreon and Facebook and Twitter. If I let them be on with YouTube, there would be a constant pinging on my phone. Constantly. So I turned it off many years ago. But for this one, it pinged a few times per day, and I checked every ad. If you do that, you might find one, get that deal, and then you can sell the 11-inch one. But you're always taking a risk when you're buying something that someone else has owned. Always taking a risk, and I did that. You might take a risk of being maybe, you know, double-crossed or something. You know, someone selling you a brick. So whenever I go to an auction site, I make sure to thoroughly check the person selling the item. If I find a good deal and the person's account is just 2 days old and have two good, reviews on their sales and purchases, and those people, when I check them leaving the reviews for this person, if their accounts was just started or only existed for a week, even if they turn out to be legit, I will not purchase from that person. Because I'm only gonna admit this once. I have been tricked in the past. Once. Fool me once, and fool me once, and that's shit. Fool me twice, and that's on. You know how it goes. I don't know how it goes. Fool me once. Fool me once. You have a basket on your head. Fool me. No, wait. Fool me once. Everyone dies. I don't even know what. Can someone help me out in chat, please? Fool me once. Fool me twice. It's chat. Please help me out. I need help. How do you say that? How does that saying go? Remember, I'm Swedish. I don't. You know, it's these English things. I don't remember them. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me once, your fault. Fool me twice, my fault. Shame on you, shame on me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know what I would do without you. Alright? Fool me once, fool me twice. Chicken and rice. Mike, that is not the right way. And you're just trying to troll me here. I know that. In Poland, I see new iPad Air 2020 256GB without LiDAR. Cost the same, but Air I get new and Pro is used. Better price in Sweden. Ah, I see. You know, that's the thing. I never really know what prices look like in other countries. I would love to do Hey to the Swedes or a Fuda. Aren't you a developer? If I remember correctly, aren't you one of the heroes out there doing codes and stuff? Or am I wrong? Am I remembering wrong? I would love to do a stream where we sit and talk about pricing for stuff, because seriously, I want to know. And you know, there are one of these streams. We have a guy who is from oh god, I can't remember the country he's from now. He's from the big beautiful continent of Africa, and I can't remember the country he's from. We're on the same timeline. I'll have to check the map again so I can remember, but I would love to see what it's like for him to try to get these products. I would love to see what it's like for people, you know, going out shopping in China, in Japan, in Korea. I want to know exactly in South Korea, in North Korea. I want to see what it's like. I want to see what prices look like, you know, when you're shopping for it in the US, in the UK. I know what it's like kind of in Germany, because I do check some German sites, and sometimes I also check French sites, Norwegian sites, Danish sites, Finnish sites. I want to know what it's like in Russia. Apple also has refurbished market. Not here in Sweden. Amazon often has sales. Yeah, and whenever I want to buy something on Amazon, it says, oh, don't ship to your country. Well, F you then. God. Shit. The best is when George... I love that clip of George Bush saying that, fool me, careful me again. I love that. Those clips were wholesome. Those old trolling clips they did on that president was wholesome. I loved watching those. It was fun. I haven't been having fun watching clips of another person who used to be a, you know. So I'm not going to mention the name, but I didn't have any fun watching that. But that guy, you know, Bush, that was gold, pure gold watching. Because you could, even though it wasn't, I'm Swedish, it's not my president, but even though it wasn't, I could still feel for the person, you know? Just, he looked like any average person. And I kind of liked that. It was very endearing. Have you ever had dreadlocks or braids? Yeah. I had dreadlocks up from the age of, what is it, like 16? Until now it is 4 months ago. And if you go back on my channel and check some of my vlogs, you'll see in some of them I have them out. So I've had dreadlocks for many years. And I used to have them in the hat. And if you look at some thumbnails, you'll see that the big hat with the dreads in them. I'm trying to get an app done. A kind of a developer. Are you doing music apps? Are you doing any other? What kind of apps are you doing, Orfu? Joshua Good. Hello, Joshua, and welcome to the stream. It's been such a mess because we've been talking everything. Now we're talking prices of Apple gear. We've talked about my failed MIDI controller. We've talked about addiction, which usually happens on these streams because somehow I can't stop talking about it. We've been talking about so many things, and the problem with using an iPad and everything, and I've been asking the chats for everything. Big Grey Dreads, yeah. The main problem is VAT and import taxes. Ah, I get that. I completely get that. Bush is about endearing as a dead fart. Oh, that's such a good comment. I love that. Oh, that's funny. Pricing is one of the big questions. What's your thought about Daft Punk ending? Okay. I like the music of Daft Punk. If they want to end it, I really don't care. How long have they been together? I mean, at some point, it turns out to be sticking together for fans only. Trust me on this. I know because I've been in a part of the industry where I hang out or used to hang out with a lot of people who used to be famous, are becoming famous musicians, or on their way, or are famous, okay? And I know that at some point in your career, it turns into something kind of souring depending on how you do stuff. And at some point you end up doing stuff just for fans and you're no longer feeling like you want to. And in their case, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. That maybe they just want to go and do something else. We are talking about creative people. When we're talking about musicians, actors, painters, whatever they might do. Should we, as fans, not be able to allow them to pursue other things in life? Because I am dying to find out what will they do next. Even if they both decide not to do any music more, they'll probably do something creative because stopping being creative only happens in 1% of the cases. And so if one of them start doing weird installations with themselves, covering themselves up in mud, talking some really nice French about political events in their country. Yes, I am talking about a certain YouTuber whose content I absolutely love. It's art, it's pure art, and I love it so much. It's some of the best, most weird things I've ever seen. I wonder if anyone here can figure out who that is. You kind of have to know who that is. You know, you have to be in the weird parts of YouTube, but there's a guy covering his face in clay and doing installations and talking about politics in French. It's great. It's very inspiring, interesting, and odd and weird and kind of eerie at the same time. Even if one of the Daft Punk members do that, I will look at it. I will watch it. I am not pissed that they want to do something else in life. I mean, it's about time. How long has a band like Metallica been together? I wonder how many times they wanted to just stop. It must have happened 1,000 times by now. It happens to everyone. And, you know, the only one making it to a bad thing is the fans, usually, because, of course, they don't want to lose what they love. I completely get that. But who knows? What comes next might be just as interesting. And I just want to see people go on to be creative in whatever they want. And I would never want anyone to suffer for my enjoyment. Never. So that's my take on it. I hope that's okay. And I'm not judging anyone else who wants them not to split up. Because I've seen the meltdowns online. And you know, some of it I don't feel it's completely justified, but I completely get it. When you've invested your life into something, I just say that maybe not invest your life too hard into something, because we are all people and we need to have space to change. If I didn't have any space to change, I would not be having this live stream with you now. I would not have done Hack Attack. I would not have done many things in my life. So, yeah, I hope that makes sense. Hearts of Space. Are you quitting your channel? Rustic, if I would quit my channel, I would tell you in a video, like very clearly, tell you why I'm quitting, and I would quit, and that would be it. It wouldn't be me sitting and just, kind of teasing it like this ever. No, 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 absolutely not. If I decide to quit, it's gonna be something I've thought about for a year, and then I would just tell you, and that's it. So don't worry. Don't worry at all. Where the hell is my iPad? That is a great title for this video. By the way, Mobile Music Pro, I saw that you came in here. I'm sorry for not saying hello, but yeah, I am acknowledging you now. Vortex, hello and welcome to the live stream. It's been a mess, but I've been having fun, and yeah, as usual, it's not because of what I'm doing. It's because of the chat, because that's all a live stream is. To me, at least. I mean, for some it's not. I love it, engaging with you. Stopping doing creative things for a creative person, that's usually only stops when you're dead. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Oh my God, David Asher. David Asher, how did you find that? How did you find that, David? Did you search for it, or did you already know? Did you already know who that was, or did you just search for it? You probably searched for it. I want to know. Love interacting with my audience during live streams. Do you have a Discord? Rustic, how have you, I'm not gonna shame you for missing it. Yes, of course I do have a Discord. It's right there. And if you want to find it, open up the description box underneath this video and click on the Discord invite link. Yes. And you should be on there, Rustic. You've been on this channel, and we've been talking for ages. Of course you should be on there. I've been very bad at managing it, and I've been thinking about that. I don't know what to do about that, because I can't pay anyone to moderate it, and that's why I've been trying to do it myself, and I'm just doing a shitty job at it. And so far, most of the people joining up have been nice enough not to ruin it, for everyone. So I've been lucky so far, and I know that. It's giving me notifications from another. Don't do that. There we go. Until I turn it back on, so mute that. Thank you. Been here since Audiobus 1 and IAA only. Yeah, I know. Oliver de Zagazan. Oh, yeah. Checked him. Scary face. Yeah, and most people would think that that's too awkward to watch. But when I watch that, I see someone not doing it as shits and giggles. I see an artist. I see someone who really means what they do with their art. And that's why I love it so much. And I can admit to you that for like every evening for about 6 months, I watched one of his videos, and then I rewatched it when I went to the end. I've seen all of his videos. I love his work. I want to get Thor. Oh, I'm so sorry, Fernando, but there's no way for you to get that unless you buy an iPad from someone, get their account with them having Thor on it, because it's no longer available. And I seriously do not think at this point that Propellerhead, that recent studios are gonna spend any money on it. I think not. Yeah, there's no way to get Thor legit. But hey, Thor has a very special sound to it. It's got a reason like sound to it because hey, it used to be. I'm gonna say propeller. It was a propeller thing. So Rebirth is gone. Thor is gone. We still have Figure, and I know it's not the fully fledged synth, but that engine has been based upon the Thor engine. So there's still something of it left, and they're still updating it to keep it relevant. But you know what? Next live stream, let's do a stream named Apps We Wish Were Updated, AUV 3'd, and Modernized. Let's do that stream next time. Okay? I'll write that down, and we'll talk. We'll think long and hard until next Wednesday, and we'll do a list of apps that we want to get modernized, and we'll talk about that. I'm not saying that that we're probably gonna sway some minds, for some developers. Probably not, because if they can't make money of it, it's not worth to them, to put the time into doing it. But we can always hope. So let's talk about that next week. I already have a topic for next stream. That would be great to do. I hope I hope that people are interested in that. I'm gonna write it. Apps we wish were updated, comma AUV 3 that thing and D, and modernized. We'll do that one. I don't know if you can read that. Apps we wish were updated, AV3'd, and modernized. We'll do that one next Wednesday and list all of those things. Let's see here. AUV3 gadget. Let's get pitchforks and storm. Yeah. In Korg's case, so far it seems like their business model have worked for them, which gives them. It's a two-edged sword. They are probably, I don't know, but they're probably worried that if they do make stuff into AUV3, which can turn out to be a hard thing for them, because if there's something I've learned from developing apps with an app developer and interviewing developers, if you do not focus on and make something to fit something or do something specific from the beginning, trying to do that afterwards might just well as being, something that it's gonna force you to start over again, coding it from scratch. A lot of the code that some people make for these apps are the engine, for an audio engine, for instance, and graphical user interface. And even Matthew Fesher talked about this in the Music Radar interview they did with him, about people, should they go over to buying M1 Max? And like I've been telling everyone, wait with that, because we'll probably not see what people think they're gonna see, with apps and M1 Max and stuff. You should go read that. Search for Matthew Fesher, Music Radar, iOS M1 interview, and you can read that up, because Matthew Fesher from AudioKit, by the way, he has a lot of good points in there. I ran it by Kaiaras. He also liked what he read there, because that's pretty much the feeling. Never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say. But the point of this was, sometimes you have to start over from scratch if you did not consider making something into something else. So back when, for instance, Thor was made, AUV3 wasn't even considered as a thing. It wasn't even a thing back when that was made. So then when it came in and people started asking for it, trying to port that over into that might not have been an easy thing. And if you don't make money for that app, putting time into making that app work as an AUV3 is not worth it for the company, and you're just going to be bleeding money. And that is no good practice for any company. Any company out there that have been bleeding money because they want to do maybe what they think is right, or cater to an audience, usually goes under, or they end up having to rely on an ad business strategy, or getting funding from somewhere, And usually when you get fundings from someone, there's caveats with that. And those caveats might be something, along the lines of, maybe we want you to make money on this long term, so put in IAPs in there. Make a subscription model. Do this and that. Maybe you should stop doing that. Stop using this color scheme. There's loads of things that can happen to a company if they decide to do something. And I completely get their point. But me as a user, I don't give a I get what people want, but if I could decide, I would want Thor as an AUV3. Yeah, sure. Knave, I would love that as an AUV3 to use that sometimes, but to be honest with you, whenever I use Thor and Knave, I always use it standalone nowadays. And sometimes I connect two sound cards to my devices, and I'll record the sounds old school by recording the audio from one sound card into another instead of doing it internally. Sometimes I do that. No real reason. I mean, I could just do it internally, right? I mean, nowadays you can even screen record stuff and get a decent audio from that. I don't know. I'm old school. It's stupid, maybe. Akai apps ecosystem is the worst. You know what? Another good title for another video. Let me write that up. What we think about IAPs versus pay now or subscription models. And we'll write iOS music apps. That is an ass long title, I know, but I've got it down here now. So that is definitely a live stream we can do and talk about that stuff, because that's probably interesting. And if we can get a lot of people on here and talk about that, make that a thing, then maybe some developers can get some feeling of how we in the iOS music community feel about these things. Because I'm just as concerned as when it comes to keeping the good developers we have here on the platform. I want to make sure they're getting paid. I want to make sure that they can continue doing what they love and make tools for us. All right? But we have to find a balance in how we consume their stuff and how we pay them. There has to be some sort of balance. A lot of developers have tried so many things. I don't personally like subscription models. I mean, I know a lot of people don't do that. Hence why some people don't want to do the patronage for me. And sometimes I'll end up getting a PayPal donation instead. And I do that myself. For some I already am a patron of many other creators. And sometimes when I find another good creator, I can't just add another creator on Patreon, because that's too many microtransactions for me to handle. So I'll end up sending over some cash through a PayPal donation. Anonymously, of course. Always anonymously. Because I just want to help out. I don't want to get cred for doing it. You get what I mean? Like, yeah. And I think it's weird also when I'm a creator myself sometimes, but and it's been feeling weird, But with the patronage, it's funny because I'm being patrons of people who are patrons of me. So it's so stupid. We're basically just handing patron money in that case. If I'm doing the patronage for Doug and Doug is doing the patronage for me, we're sending money back and forth, and then patron is actually the ones getting some money out of it. That's pretty dumb. Why are we doing it like that? I mean, that money could go to someone else instead then. But the thing is, I want to support people I like. That's what I like about this society today. We can support whoever we like. It's not dictated. Making movies is not dictated by Hollywood. Everything doesn't have to be the same, and that's why we keep seeing new movie makers and companies pop up all over the place, and awesome movies are being made. Concepts I've never thought about being made because Hollywood wouldn't think that there's any money in it. But then this smaller crew comes up, they get a bit of funding, and they make it happen. I think that's amazing. I think it's amazing to see actors work with crews that are smaller now. I think that's awesome. And Johnny, Nicholas, I mean, Nicholas Cage, that guy is the most craziest guy ever when it comes to making movies. He will make any movie with anyone. He doesn't care. He just wants to make movies. I respect that. He is not afraid to try everything, which is awesome. I like that. Don't buy a pizza and pay $2 a month for a pizza I bought last year. Yeah, but if you pay a subscription and they keep delivering you pizza every week, that's different. That's the model. But I get it. If you pay a subscription, you get one pizza and you get no pizzas for a year, you're wondering to yourself, why am I subscribing? You see, this is a good topic. We should talk about it, because many times I feel that sometimes the discussions become unfair and sometimes stuff isn't being considered. You know what I mean? So we should talk about that. We'll see. We'll see. I got community postings on this channel now, on this live streaming channel, which is how I was able to cancel the last Wednesday stream. I'll make sure not to do that next Wednesday, because now we have a topic. I'll make sure to have time for it. Don't worry. But I'm gonna check if we can do votings, because if I can put up some polls, we can start doing that. We'll come up with different topics, and then we'll do a poll voting, and whatever wins, we'll do that one first, and the other one the next stream. I think that's a good idea. I watched Johnny Mnemonic after your last stream. Mike, did you like it? We got electronic sounds in the studio, in the session. Electronic sounds, you're killing it with your live streams, you know, mate. I watched legit after the last stream. Greetings from my daughter Cornelia. She watch live with me sometimes. She's 11 and she likes you. Interesting, funny person. She pushed me to send greetings to you. Well, hello there, person whose name I do not know. 11-year-old daughter, and thank you so much for watching and watching some weird Swedish guy in a bedroom. I don't make my bed. I'm really bad at that. I don't even want to touch that stuff. I get out of bed. My mom always used to make me make my bed. And I'm one of those guys. Earlier in the stream, I talked about me getting into everything I do 100%. And that was the same thing with the bed. I sometimes got late for school because I wanted to make sure that the bed and the sheet on the bed was so tight that you could bounce a nickel off it. You know, square corners. And I hated it. I hated it when she told me to do that. I get why she told me, but Mom, if you're still here, I never make my bed. You can't make me. You can't make me anymore because I'm grown up. I live by myself. So if I want to sit in the bed and eat, I shouldn't give you any bad ideas, daughter, 11 years old, by the way. I'm sorry for that. Maybe you shouldn't have her watch this stream because I'm a bad influence. Like, I do things that children wish they could. But there's one thing I don't do. I do not jump in my bed anymore after the last time when I broke my bed. I learned my lesson, and that's why you do not jump in the bed. So don't do that. 11-year-old daughter, don't jump in the bed. Ah, shit, my mom is still here. Crap. It was both better and worse than I remembered. Mike, it was so endearing watching that old video with my partner. She both she didn't hate anything of it. She loved it, and I absolutely loved watching an old Dolph Lundgren as this weird preacher guy. I absolutely love that role, and the whole concept with the dolphin and everything is just. It's weird and lovely, and I love the concept of the laser wire weapon. Love that concept. It had so many things going for it. And after playing Cyberpunk 2077, I can see all the influences in there from The Matrix and Johnny Mnemonic. Get a stronger bed. Jumping is fun. Ro- Robois and Moknobi. Roba Nokmobi? Robin! I'll call you Robin. Lots of women in Jacob's chat. I'm happy to see females actually watching my streams, because YouTube tells me that it's a dude fest. It's a beard fest, and I've been trying to keep my channel. I get it. I get it. Most females want to watch female content creators, but I've always been trying to keep whatever I do as flat as I can. I want everyone to be able to feel like they can come in to the room, because I don't care about you. I don't care about your stupid gender. I don't care about your affiliations with anything. I don't care if you've got a beard or I don't care if you've got breasts and you want to have a beard at the same time. I don't care about any of that. It doesn't matter to me, and it doesn't make you more special than anyone else. You're just a person to me, and I'm gonna treat you as a person, because that's what people are to me. People. They're people, and people are like the rainbow. There's a wide range of colors, when it comes to what we like and what we don't like, and I will not judge anyone for that, because I've been judged plenty for everything that I've liked, for the way I wore my hair, from what I wore on my body, from what I eat, the color of my skin. It's so stupid, and I might look like a white dude. I get really, really brown if I stay out in the sun, because I'm half African. So so I've had to deal with racism from all sides, and it's just as disgusting every time. Whenever I see bigotry or racism from any side, I don't care which side you're from. It's disgusting, and don't do that shit. So yeah, I want everyone to feel welcome, and I wish that the ratio on my stats would just even out. So yeah, I wish it would even out, so it wouldn't be just guys. Even though I do love you guys who watch this, I don't have a problem with it. I just want some balance, because the world is half of one and half of the other. Well, not completely. Some people are in between, and that's okay too. I just want them all to feel like they're represented in the world, because we just want to be acknowledged, right? We're human beings, we're people, and that's all we want to be. So whenever someone treats us as if we aren't, just because how we think or feel, that's sick. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good moving forward, and it's not good for our evolution or anything. It's not good. Everything good we have today comes from mixing stuff together. One person borrowing one idea from here, borrowing from one research paper here, borrowing a piece of a sample from a music here, looking at a painting and using elements from that painting here. We keep mixing and sampling everything in our lives, and we're bringing that forward and making the future possible. That is the true power of humanity. Being able to do that, to take something and see this is what can be done with it. Yeah, love that. Love that. Let's not be backwards, people. I say, after just turning down everyone's advice, telling me, hey Jacob, you should put up more videos, stop doing this and that, and I'm like, nope, I'm old-fashioned. I'm gonna stay right here and do my thing like I've always done it. So it's impossible not being hypocritical at least a million times in your life as a human being. Imagining Jacob plus bro jumping on his bed. Thanks for that image. If the bed was sturdier, I would probably do some jumping on the bed. Alright, let's see here. I might have to end this. Yeah, okay, so my partner is probably cooking, and I'm gonna have to end the stream. So, yeah. thank you so much for watching, and let's talk next Wednesday. And I'll put up a, if I can put up a poll. Stay tuned on this channel, live streaming channel, Jakob haQ Live. Stay tuned on here, because if it turns out that I can put out a poll where you can just click in, so we can choose between the apps we wish were updated thing, or the IAPs versus pay now versus subscription, these two live streams for next live stream, then I'm gonna put that up and see which one wins. And if I can put up a poll where we click in, I'll put up a picture and say, here's the poll, and you can just say, I want number 1 or number 2. So yeah. And I almost said I've got to go and do number 2 now. No, I don't, but I do have to go and eat. Thank you so much for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. You've been watching Jakob haQ Live. I'm Jakob haQ from Sweden, and as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. And you know what? That was the most spotless, most flowing ending I've done in a while. I can't even do it that flowing when I record my videos alone here, and I have time to do that. I usually just stop in the middle of it because I say something weird. Yeah, wish I could have recorded that. Wait, I did record that because it's a live stream. So bye everyone. Love you, and yeah, take care. And that's it. Name it clusterfuck. Clusterfuck. Name it clusterfuck. Yeah, I'll go back and check some titles. I'll title it afterwards. But I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna leave, and this time I'm truly not gonna troll you. I'll count down to when I'm ending the stream, and I will not troll you.